Hi everyone, I thought I'd make a video about this EHRC statutory guidance that has now been laid before Parliament since last Thursday. It's going to be there 40 days, and if nobody opposes it or it doesn't get debated and rejected, then it will come into being the statutory guidance about how services and providers, so that's restaurants, everything that you come into contact in your daily life, will deal with trans people, and it will be quite different to what it looks like now. This guidance has been revised because it was really exclusionary, and there was really crazy things like people asking you to prove your sex. What are you going to do? Walk around with your birth certificate? I suppose it's coming to that. What are they going to do? Look at your genitals? I don't know. It's really crazy. And this new guidance says that I'm to be excluded from using female facilities. That's changing rooms when I play roller derby, toilets. So, when you go out, you use loos, don't you, everywhere, like I do in pubs, for example, restaurants, work, yeah. Everyone needs to go to the loo, don't they? But this guidance is now based on it being that I'm to be excluded from it, or if somebody says, "Oh, we don't like that," so someone who's transphobic says, "Oh, I don't like that. She's a trans woman. She can't use. I don't want her in the toilet. It makes me feel a bit uncomfortable." Right, okay. Because apparently all trans women are predators, like cisgender men who go around raping women and girls in toilets. Does that really happen? I don't think so. But anyway, obviously we know about sexual abuse. I'm a social worker. I have been for over 18 years. I worked in safeguarding children for the first 17 years of that time, and I worked, in areas where there was a lot of sexual abuse, like complex safeguarding and trafficking and exploitation. So I know all about it, and I'm a survivor myself. So I know the threat that men represent, but this framing of trans women as being the same as predatory men, it feels a bit like how gay men were framed in the 80s as being paedophiles. Can you see the same? What's going on? That's what it is, isn't it? And it's like you've got these people who are called gender critical, like, Potato Face herself, Mayor Forstater, the Wicked Witch of the East, and a few others I could mention. But these people have a protected viewpoint, so it's a bit like saying that if you were racist, your viewpoint could be that you're racially critical. Wow, right? And that wouldn't be okay, would it? But it's somehow okay if you're gender critical. It's an ideology. Let's ignore all the science, shall we? Let's ignore how brain differentiation happens, all the evidence that points to all those issues of what makes someone like me happen, how that happens in utero, and how we are just, ignoring all of that for political ideologies and these crazies, that come from the far right and the ADF, the far right Christian values, where the same people that took apart Roe versus Wade are the people behind all of this transphobic narrative that comes over from the US and is permeating here and is taking this equality back decades. It's horrific, isn't it? So I've gone off on a tangent there, haven't I? But so imagine if saying I can't use facility, it's a bit like saying if there was two gay men walking down the street and they were holding hands, and someone who was perhaps they didn't think gay people were okay, that it's against God or something, these people exist, don't they? We know it. Then they should be told, well, you can't hold hands then because that person feels uncomfortable. It's the same argument you're trying to put on me for not using facilities, but you want me to use a man's toilet, really? How do you think that will go? And, you know, I think the men would be quite upset. So there's also an exclusion in this thing saying that I wouldn't be able to do that either. And then that puts me in a disabled toilet or an accessible toilet, and that means that I've got people might ask, well, why is she using that? I mean, you don't have to explain yourself, do you, to use a loo, I guess, and that's what they will say. Well, it's fine, you know, you go ahead and do that. But this thing of being excluded is it hurts, you know, because it's like when I was a kid and how I felt that I didn't fit and I was excluded, and now I would feel like I wouldn't fit because I'm being pushed into spaces that I don't fit because I never did. And that's the crazy thing about it. And then you've got this aspect of you know, trans women being apparently predatory males, and it's just not the case, is it? You know, why would you go through everything you know that I've been through to go into a toilet and assault women and girls or changing rooms? I mean, it just seems absolutely crazy. I mean, the other crazy thing about this as well, of course, is that trans men apparently have to use female facilities now. That's what they're supposed to do. So basically, any cisgender men could just say they're a trans man and go into the toilets and rape away, I guess. You know, that's what it's saying, isn't it? So the other thing here as well is that what people don't think about is how there's all it's about is about how apparently I make people uncomfortable. What about me? It just doesn't matter at all, does it? There's just no relevance to that of what that feels like. You know, I'm not going to bother taking you through my childhood trauma. Who needs that? I don't. I've dealt with it all, thank you. But just to think that apparently this thing about keeping women and girls safe, why would I go through battling a health authority for a year with my social worker and my GP, amazing women? They really helped me to survive, to get funding to go to Charing Cross Hospital. This is back in 1995. It's a long time ago. And go through all the things that I've done, 3 years of psychiatry, quite a lot of really serious surgeries that will make you smart a bit, and you know, to be able to do, what risk am I? I mean, it's just fucking stupid. So what we need to do here, I think, is reject this code, reject this guidance. It's not lawful. I think it's overstepping the mark of trying to use this thing of if people feel uncomfortable. And I've never had anybody say to me, oh, you make me feel uncomfortable. It just hasn't happened. Maybe people don't say something, I don't know. But I just go about my life, and I don't know what to do really, because I just don't think I find it always hard. So I think what you need to do is to write to your MP, send them an email and say, look, this is crazy. Stand up for people. This is wanton discrimination. It's not equality. You're introducing inequality. You're trying to stop it's 0.5% of the population, some of the most vulnerable people, from just being able to function in their life. And it's doing nothing to protect women and girls. If you want to protect women and girls, do something about, you know, the fucking rapists and the paedophiles out there. Do something about it, yeah? Stop attacking trans women. We're more likely to be the victim than the perpetrator. And that really holds true. There are people I know who won't even go out now because they're too scared. That's not okay, is it? Yeah? You might say, well, it's okay for like me. I can carry on. People don't really know. You know, I don't go around. I don't get abuse when I go out. I don't get people question me. But I suppose there's that anxiety now that it could look like that, couldn't it? And it's an anxiety I didn't have before, when I felt like I was protected. If we go back prior to 2025, till April 2025, prior to that, where I had my legal rights as a woman, and now I don't really. And it just puts me in this no person's land, doesn't it? Where, again, you know, I'm more likely to suffer. So, you know, well done, UK government, and listening to these transphobic people who are just causing harm for seemingly no benefit for themselves. And actually, the irony about all of this is that you're going to put women and girls at more risk because cisgender men can just walk into a loo and say they're a trans man, and there's nothing to stop them, is there? And besides, I think that the abusers don't need to go into toilets to abuse people or changing rooms. They do it everywhere else, don't they? I know this because of the work I've done for decades, really, in my job. But anyway, I think write to your MP, do something about it, and just because you think it doesn't affect you, help me, because I think that if we don't get the people who are cisgender and not trans standing up and doing something, we're fucked, aren't we? Because we can't defend ourselves. We're just so easily bullied because that's been the story of our lives, hasn't it? Really, and so it goes on. But anyway, have a nice bank holiday weekend.